Good morning. Welcome to another morning broadcast. Uh, if this is your first time, we meet 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We discuss our game plan for the day. I trade pre-market in about from about 7 a.m. Eastern to about 11 a.m. Eastern. So a lot of moves come up in that pre-market, and then we jump on here for about 30 minutes to discuss our game plan for the open. And if there are some plays while we're here, we'll go ahead and take them. I'll call them out. If not, we jump at 9:30 Eastern into our group. So if this is your first time, also, I use a strategy where I look for momentum stocks with significant catalysts, primarily low float, high float turnover. We're looking for, 60, those moves that have 60, 70%, 100% gain on the day or more. And we're scalping. We're looking for a small piece of just a few, 1, 2, 3R trades every day. We show up, get our base hits, and then every so often we have some A plus setups. So if you enjoy the stream, please smash the like button. It helps out, and share with others, and also consider subscribing. Let's jump right into it. We're gonna get to the overall market. We all see the market moving down because of Trump and the tariffs. But let me just talk about the scan from today. So the scan was light. I jumped on, it's almost empty. And sometimes it's like that, especially when the market is declining as it is, right? But TRNR was one of the best picks today. We had, it popped up. It was TRNR and SMST. So TRNR gave a micro pullback, gave another move here, and a few scalps that we could take out of the market. Another one that popped up and it faded was WINT. So this one popped, was looking for a potential pullback entry here. But if you look at the CVD and the volume as it came down, massive aggressive selling here. So this was a sign not to take it, right? So that one popped up. MASS popped up on the scan as well. I was looking for, potential breakout here, but I ended up looking at WINT, and this one had a much higher float than the other two. So, 20 million float, only at the time was about 1 million in volume traded. So, comparative to TRNR with about 600K float, 10 million volume, 18 million now, right? So we're expecting a much higher move on those that have lower float. All right. So today, what's the plan for me? I'm going to be patient. I'm going to look at the scan. We look at the overall market though, right? The overall market is just on a decline. And we've been talking about this since January almost. We've just been saying that there's a lot of upside. There's a ceiling almost. The upside risk are the tariffs and the conversations around them. So the tariffs went into play. They were activated early this morning, right? 12 a.m. this morning. So we saw a decline because of that. And we see selling across tech, NVIDIA, SMCI, all of these that we were looking at yesterday for MCI. So SMCI, PLTR, we see a decline across all of those names, right? And we're going to stay within this environment, this like heavy headline-driven environment, tariff, trade wars. It's all this conversation about the tariffs and the trade wars, because now Mexico and Canada, it's been activated for them, and then we could see an unwind on names like Baba, JD because of China. Okay. All right. So Trump, he's on a State of the Union today, 8 p.m. I think that's 9 p.m. Eastern. And he can be more bullish on his stance about the tariffs, or maybe he can have a good phone call, right? He can have, we had a phone call, it went well. But I would say that because of the uncertainty, the indices will have this upline. The upside risk of the tariffs. So even if it bounces, I wouldn't be looking at trying to hold a rally all the way back up to recent highs. I would just say let's day by day, right? Day by day, let's look at what happens in the market and look for opportunities. Okay, and just keep a watch on what's going on. Yeah, market is in play with VIX close to 24. Yeah, so when generally I'm focused on individual names, but when you have like major catalysts, then I'll trade the market play, right? I call it a market play because it's like the overall market, which is trading the SPYs, US 30, Qs. So this is the type of environment when you have the VIX. They mentioned the VIX. It's a gauge that you can look at. When it's above 20, then that's when the market is in play. That's like a professional gauge. So I'm gonna, since I'm mainly long side, what I do is I'm gonna be looking for stocks that have individual catalysts. I'm not trading a theme right now. If I was on the short side, I'd be looking at everything, AI, all of the tech names. I'd be looking at even the banking sector as well. But since I am mainly long side, then I will be looking at things like TR&R that pop up on the scan that have their own catalyst and the volume to trade those names. So I'm gonna have to practice a lot of patience. Okay, the catalyst is unfortunately the tariffs. Yep, that's what it is. That's the catalyst, right? So we'll see how countries respond. We'll see how things are retracted, but psychology is shaken. That's just the bottom line, right? So sometimes we're trading with certain themes, AI, quantum, the energy names, Bitcoin, but everything theme related is shorting, moving to the downside. Okay, so I'm switching the way that my focus. It's not going to be on themes, but I'm going to keep my eye on what happens. But since I'm long side, I'm going to be on that scanner like a hawk, looking for the stocks that are insulated, and just waiting for the best setups, just being patient. Last week, while the decline was happening, we had ENVB, ORGO, ENVB, right, popped up, ORGO, right, MULN, right, WAFU, WAFU, right? So even though the overall market is in decline, especially tech, we still have names that come out with the catalyst. Boom, we have upside, and we can take advantage of those. All right, so that's going to be my focus. I'm going to look for those and be patient. Right, be patient. I don't want to get FOMO, and I don't want to walk away either. Right, that's the thing. If you walk away, something will pop up on the scanner, and you'll be like, "Dang, I missed that." Right, Barron's did say the uncertainty can shift quickly. Yep, that's the other thing, right? So that's the thing. I mean, when you've been trading for long enough, you see that things can shift quickly, right? And that's why, as independent traders, we have a gift, because while some hedge funds, some larger players can't make shifts as quick as we can, they're becoming quicker because of algorithmic trading, and they are, according to Dr. Steenbarger, going to SMB events and talking to some of the professional traders. They said that the retail trader has an even greater advantage now, because some of the hedge funds they aren't holding on to their positions as much, so they're flipping just like we are, right? Which is good, but they still are at a disadvantage because of course we can get in and out of things a lot quicker, especially if we're focused on individual stocks that have low float. They won't be in something like some of the names that I'm trading, like TR&R. They're not going to be in that because it's just not enough liquidity for them, right? So the benefit for us is, we can find these names that are lower float, that have their own catalysts, that present our setups, and we can take those, and we take them for the time being, take some scalps, intraday plays, and then we're out. Okay, all right. So let's talk about, yeah. So individual names is that's my game plan. I'm going to keep an eye on all of these names because at one point there's going to be some capitulation, right? There's going to be a reversal. There's going to be a turn, and then we can benefit from multi-week, maybe potential multi-week selling, or I'm sorry, buying, right? So there's times where, you know, things are moving to the downside aggressively, and then we are trading some theme related things like OKLO. Man, this was a multi-week rally. Like this was in our game plan for weeks, right? To the long side. Now it's declining, and that's how we go. That's how we're moving. Okay, all right. Now let me talk about AI. Talked about the overall market. Talked about my approach. Let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit. So Bitcoin rallied because of Trump's tweet, his message about the crypto reserve. So we had a pop Sunday. We came in, we saw crypto was up, and then yesterday, the range of the decline was larger than that gap up. So what I was looking at potentially doing is once we came in, we were looking at levels, either a breakout here or a pullback for another move to the upside. So I have my eye on crypto as well. You know, the tariffs are exacerbating everything, right? But as I mentioned, this may be this week. Next week we may have a rally. Okay, so I'm going to keep my eye on crypto as well, so that I can take advantage of, you know, prices going lower, and then you have the big boys like Sailor and some of the others. You know, they're going to step in and continue to buy. That's what's being communicated. Okay, there's a lot of crypto technology that was built, and with Trump tweeting about this reserve, this can be, you know, a reaction based on the tariffs, and then we can see another rally to the upside. So I'm just gonna set alarms and keep this in view. Okay, all right. So what are you taking a look at? Let's see, Mohammed TGTX. Yeah, so they had earnings yesterday and they popped. So this could be a second day play. Not a lot of volume traded this morning, but we could see if we get a pop here and volume comes in, then that could be another leg higher here on TGTX. There, okay. So there's a few on the scan right now, but they are still kind of cooking up right now. What else are y'all looking at? Good morning. Is there a list of ETNE? What else are y'all looking at? Talk to me. Let's do it. So Reggie, I think that who is your broker? Who do you trade with? BTOG. All right, let's look. BBB. BlackBerry. Yeah. Okay. TA. Let's see. Yeah, hit me with the list. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about them real quick. All right. So MAS, as I mentioned, this one it popped on the scan. It has 26 million float. So for us to see that strong upside move, we're gonna need more volume, right? So it can work out. It's just gonna move a lot slower than something like TRNR because of that float. Okay. So at the market open, if volume starts to come in, it still looks like it can hold here, but if volume starts to come in, then it can play out. But I was trying to get in. We want to get in low on these types of names and as low as possible. So I'd like a dip if possible for for it to fail and then come back. Okay, so that one is on my watch. I was trying to catch this as it was squeezing here, this breakout, but I was looking at another name that popped up. It was WINT. I was taking a look at it. OKTA, this one came out with earnings, so that one it can play out. It popped on earnings, and now this is a higher price stock. If you wonder why maybe I didn't, if you're wondering why I did not cover it, is just because on our calls I cover mainly small caps. Most of you all are building accounts, so focus on small caps. All right, but OKTA earnings, Udemy. All right, I don't really see anything on Udemy for me right now, except for if you're shorting and it's going to break. But right now, that looks price action for me. I don't see anything. BlackBerry, it's been shorting, reaching prior support levels. So nothing for me right now. But maybe if you're looking for the short side, or if you're going to try to catch the right side of the V, then that's something to keep on watch. Okay. All right. PTOG. If you're enjoying the stream, please smash that like button. Yeah. All right. So this one popped. It looks like it appeared to pop with Bitcoin, that gap up, and then it sold off just like Mara and the others that I covered. So I take a look, watch Bitcoin. If you're looking at BTOG, watch Bitcoin, and we need to see the rise on Bitcoin because we have the gap up and then it's gap down now. Okay, all right. So that's a sympathy play. All right, ALGM. Let's do it. Y'all got some stuff for me. Okay. Allegro Microsystems. What's up with this one? Semis. Yeah, I know. I know, Gerald. You were man. You were eating from BlackBerry. Yeah, this could be a dip buy on ALGM. All right, CYCU. Yep, that one started off earlier, but faded. INTC and Intel. A lot of these names, they fall under the umbrella of tech, AI, quantum, like Intel. Let's see, Charles, but it's on the decline. Mara, yep, we're pretty much on the same page. A lot of bear traps yesterday. Yep, definitely. You still trade Forex? Nope. 100% of my trades are long bias now with stocks. Is this an IPO? What is this? Let me see. I'm looking this one up. Hey, you know what? I appreciate you all that are promoting and saying, hey, please, drop some likes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, if y'all come in and y'all enjoy the stream, just drop a like and help a brother out. Yeah, that's all I ask. I'll do these in the morning. We'll meet up, and then if you drop a like, that'll help me out. Okay, so WBA, $10 billion deal to go private. That's an excellent one. The only challenge with this is that WBA's float is 700 million. So it's going to take a lot of volume to move that thing. That's what I would watch out for on WBA. Yeah. So I see the pop here, but that's the only reason I didn't drop it in our game plan and discuss it. Okay. Yeah. So 700 million float. That's a massive float. So it's going to take a lot of volume to move it, and then also it may move a lot slower than some of these other names that we're trading. But you can keep it on watch and see how it moves. Okay. These can be a lot more grindy. All right. These can be a lot more grindy. So if you see WBA on the scan, that's the only reason I didn't cover it yet. Okay. All right. Okay. So as I mentioned, let's be patient. Can you break down how to interpret float again? Yes. You know what? I'm going to do a video on it as well. Let me just write that down. That'll be a great video to do. On most scanners and sites, they'll have the float here. So if you go to Stock Screener and we look up WBA, I have to clear my filters. All right, if you look at WBA here, it'll show, you have to turn on float, shares float on TradingView. So you see it has 700 million. That's the amount of shares available to trade for the public to trade. Okay, 700 million. That's your supply. Okay. All right. So that's the supply. In order for price to move higher, right, buyers have to aggressively purchase the supply. Okay. So what we want is a lower amount of supply and a higher amount of demand. Okay. So right now we have 700 million float, and we have, in my scan, and my stats are showing about 1 million traded in volume. So that's not what we want to see. We want to see something more like TRNR. This is just a short little class, a short mention of it for everybody, just because the difference between TRNR, like if you look at TRNR here, the move that happened continued, and TRNR is the volume in TradingView, man, it's off, but their float it's even lower for me, but let's say it's 1.5 million. Right now, what I'm seeing on TRNR, so that's the supply, and the volume trade is 18 million. Okay. So that means that the float turnover, it's called a rotation, the amount of the supply that's being traded is almost like 18 times, right? The demand, I mean, it's not 1-to-1, but I'm just going to say this as a philosophical statement or theoretical statement. Like the demand is 18 times higher than the supply, right? So that's what we want to see. We want to see a lower float and high amount of volume traded, even higher than the float. And that shows you that the demand is higher than the supply. So it's a great indicator, and it helps you when it comes to stock selection. Because if I see TRNR and WBA, if they both pop up on the scan, I'll most likely turn my attention to TRNR because the float is lower and the volume is higher. Okay. There you go. Low float means buyers can move the market higher easily. There you go. That's right. That's it. And in reverse, the sellers as well. The market can move lower easily. The market can just move easily, a lot easier if the float is smaller. But if it's a big amount of float, it's gonna be harder to move that market. Yep. And typically, the stocks that have large float, like massive flows, like Nvidia and some of the others, you need a strong catalyst because those have like Nvidia has 23 billion float, right? So the larger players, they play there because there's a lot more liquidity, a lot more shares to buy and sell. But you're not going to see 100% move on Nvidia. But this TRNR was up at one point 46%, and that's just characteristic of lower float stocks. Okay, all right. So I think we're good. We have 4 minutes to the market open. I hope y'all have a great day. Let's get it. Be patient. Okay, follow your game plan, follow your playbook. Only execute when you're sure that you see something from your playbook. Avoid those invented trades. Hope y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.